We are recording. We've got a pickup for you. eBay pickup. It's a wrestling figure. Let's take it out of the packing so you can see it first. Select if you know which figure this is. Go from the packing for you. Undertaker! Another childhood favorite of mine is the Undertaker. I believe this is the WrestleMania Undertaker. There are a lot of different variations of the Undertaker. Some of them have a cape. So this is what I came across. Slightly taller than the drinking cup. They stand on their own very well. Posable with arms slightly. Undertaker had his win streak taken away at WrestleMania by Brock Lesnar, and that wasn't a title match. It was not for the title, it was just for a win streak. And that's the match I really remember the Undertaker the most. But then his other stuff, I know he teamed up with his brother Kane for a while. And whatever else kind of stuff they did, matches, interesting entrances, slow walking entrances with that kind of Celtic music or chanting music like he does with the dongs. There were some wrestlers that did try to mimic the Undertaker's entrance, so I remember that. Then he did a lot of matches with his brother Kane. So I have a pretty good memory with the Undertaker. What kind of promos he had cut earlier on. Stuff with Paul Bearer. He was in WWE, WWF when it became WWE. So Undertaker's been around. Then he's been gone. He only showed up at WrestleMania, and that was it for a while. He recently, I think he recently came back, and he was in NXT. I don't know why. I've seen him briefly at NXT for a little bit. I don't know why he's there though. But Undertaker is one of my favorite characters, and there are little segments with him and Vince McMahon and stuff like that. But he had like cage matches and Inferno matches and stuff like that. So a lot of times he lost, he won. I don't really know that statistics, how many times he lost the title or not, but not about that. It's about picking a toy from the 80s, taking it out from someone's collection and putting it into my collection, and whether or not I have a memory of the person, I'll go for that character first. We won't be on wrestling all the time, but I will add more characters as the years go on. Over the summer, I might just add one or two characters. He stands fairly okay on his own, if you pose him right. His arms move slightly. He is kind of tipping over, if you could turn him. Torso does turn a little bit. He's slightly tipping back. There we go. Position him just right. So he is a matell / Elite. I don't know which one it is. Yeah, leaning more towards Elite. There were other variations of Undertaker's outfit and stuff like that. But this is one, sometimes I see Undertaker with a cape. Hasbro has a version of Undertaker, but I don't think LJN or LNJ, whatever they're called, the rubber figures, they don't have the Undertaker, so I didn't gravitate to them first. Plus, I'm not going to collect on the rubber figures because they're too worn out now, they're too old, and then paint shipping, a lot of people that post them, they're very old and worn. They look like they've been played with a dog, so I'm not going to be collecting on them. And if it isn't in good condition, it is more expensive. So Because the LJN characters are the oldest, I think, for wrestling, and those are the ones I had growing up. At least a few of them that I remember, but these are the ones I'll be going for the most, and maybe a few from Hasbro down the line. But we'll get into some divas as well. So, I don't think Undertaker had a diva with him much. It would have been cool if somebody was with him, like a diva, or his manager could have been a diva instead of Paul Bearer. That would have been more fun for the Undertaker, I think. But it was mostly him and the weird Paul Bearer with the urn. So I remember the urn a lot now. The urn just came back to me. So you can probably buy the urn separately as a toy someplace. There are different makes, versions of the Undertaker as well. Different people make them, but I don't think matell has LJN. I don't think LJN has a version of the Undertaker. So Hogan and Undertaker were the first ones I really wanted for my collection. Then pick and choose a few others in there, like Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. We'll go from there with those kind of characters. Macho Man. Well, we're not going to go really far back as far as getting characters. Maybe Andre the Giant, something like that. We're not going to go into any characters that are really far back. Or tag teams. I don't know if I'll go into tag teams or not. We'll see. But I do want to go into some divas. And Undertaker's one of the few. And Hulk Hogan. The two few that came into my collection for wrestling. So we'll have some that will come in. He stands fairly well on his own. No disc or anything with them, no other extra accessory. Some of them come with a cape or different kind of color for his gloves, but there are different variations to the Undertaker. And collecting figures, I'll try to get at least one version. Take something out of the 80s. It's going to cost you slightly more money than $5-10. So you're not going to find a figure for $10. People tell you, don't listen to them. You're not going to find it. Because you're paying at least $50 to $100 for a figure. Especially for wrestling. Maybe for some other toy line, you might find a figure for $10. But not for wrestling. $15-20, but then there's shipping, so and then you have to convert it all. So these are at least $50 to $100 toy figures. Some of them can be even close to $100. These are vintage, even though they're not the original line. LJN was, but they're still considered vintage. Thanks for watching. Undertaker arrived. Undertaker had a tombstone. That's how he beat his matches. He put the person's head between his shoulders or his arms between his hands, and then he pile driver with his knees, and that's how he won his matches. Sometimes he climbed the rope. I never really seen people pulling him off the rope when he did that. Sometimes I seen it on TV. Sometimes, or he's going to get pulled off the rope, but they never pull him off the rope. Other times people try that, and other people do get pulled off the rope, but I never seen people pulling the Undertaker off the rope when he did that. I've been tag teaming with the Undertaker and Kane for a while. So those are the things I thought I remember. His weird entrances with his gospel music or Celtic music, whatever it was. It took like an hour of the whole show for him to get into the ring. My sure win against the Undertaker. Just start the match when the entrance comes up. Don't wait for him to come in the ring, because he has the slowest entrance of anybody that I know. Thanks for watching. It takes the whole show for him to get to the ring, because he has to go through his slow walking, his 50 dongs and all that. That's how his music was. And the person in the ring has to wait for an hour. And then by the time he gets to the ring, the show is over.